Hey everyone, welcome. Some of you know we've been doing this sticker machine thing here for about 5 years now, and in that time, through Albino Buffalo, tens of thousands of stickers have been sold featuring artists from the upper Midwest region. And recently launched is Albino Buffalo's 11th series of artists, and to help kick off our latest series, I've invited the artists who have contributed work to join me for a little fireside chat to get to know them better and find out more about their work. So today I'm Zooming with Adam Zavalney. I got that right, did I?
Pretty close. Zavalney.
Zavalney. Got it. White Ghost Design. So, hi, Adam. Welcome to the very first interview we've held here at Albino Buffalo. And yeah, would you mind kicking us off a little bit, telling us about a little bit about your background, kind of who you are, and the medium that you work in?
Yeah, well, thanks for having me. I was really excited to be part of the project this year. So thanks for letting me jump on board. A little bit about me. I'm from Langdon, North Dakota, and I went to school at MSUM originally for audio production. So I graduated with a degree in the music industry. By the time I got through like 5-6 years of college, I kind of was burnt out on music and didn't really want to do it anymore professionally. So it wasn't really until after college I started to fall into the design world. I had an internship right outside of college where they were looking for someone who could do data entry and knew how to use an Apple computer. So I was like, hey, so that's me.
Nice.
So I jumped out of the serving industry and into the magazine publishing industry just kind of via that route. And at that first job, I was sort of introduced to the creative suite of programs. And it's just sort of like kind of opened up my world to like, wow, this is like a job. Like this is something I never really understood was possible to like make money, like being creative like this. So that was sort of like my introduction into the world. So I worked there for a while, and then I worked at Forum Communications as a graphic designer for about 5 years, and continued to work in the graphic design field through my career at Discovery Benefits, which is now WEX in town here. So that's kind of the path that led me towards the graphic design world professionally. But yeah, the kind of work I do for my freelance work with White Ghost Design, that only started in 2019. I just kind of decided I wanted to give it a shot. I wanted to get into like logo design primarily is when I started. So my first few clients were friends of friends. Did some free logo design work for them to help build up my portfolio and put them up on my website. And I've been doing logo design and digital illustration kind of since 2019 with the White Ghost Design stuff. So that's kind of in a nutshell, the short version of how I got to where I am today.
No, that's awesome. Yeah, I was kind of curious about kind of that the side gig of White Ghost Design and kind of how that built up. And what do you say kind of inspires you around that kind of work versus your sort of day job? What inspires you to continue doing that work up kind of on the side for now?
It gives you kind of that extra creativity that you might not have in your day to day. I get to be creative in my role from 9 to 5, but it's within like a brand guide and, you know, a brand voice. And like, I like to be able to be a little bit more creative outside of that world too. So with the logo design, I'm finding the kinds of clients I work with are usually like people who are starting something up, or you know, they probably don't have enough money to like hire an agency, but they want something that looks nice. And I like to be that kind of middle ground person where, you know, I have some marketing experience and I enjoy helping people launch like new things that are exciting to them. And I like want them to start off on the right foot with like a nice looking logo and a nice brand. So that little niche area is a big thing for me, is just like working with people that are passionate about what they're doing and trying to start something up, and they're excited about it, but maybe they don't have the know-how or the funds to get that big agency feel to their stuff. On the digital illustration side, that really, I mean, started right around at the end of 2019. I just kind of started I was following a lot of different like tattoo artists on Instagram. And then I started to see this trend of there's all these digital artists that make tattoo style art, that aren't really meant for tattoos. They're like for clothing brands and things like that. So I kind of started following, there was two specific artists that I started following on Instagram, Ash Price and Leo Furious. And these two guys, just that what they do is just like they take like that idea of like a very compartmentalized design, like if it's a hand or if it's like a lion face or like a traditional tattoo element, and that's all they're making. And that seemed really approachable to me because I'm not really an artist in like a traditional sense where I can take a piece of paper and like draw you something nice. I'm very much rely heavily on the tools that the creative world offers us. So that's when I was like, oh, how are they doing this? And I remember seeing Leo Furious do like a time lapse of him drawing on an iPad with an Apple Pencil. And at that time, I was like, I didn't even know that was a thing. Yeah. I knew that there was like styluses and like Wacom tablets or whatever, but I'd never really tried one. But when I saw them actually putting the Apple Pencil to the iPad and like how it was the palm recognition things there where you don't smear and like, it's just such a smooth thing. I was like, I absolutely just need to buy this and try it. And that's like how I started in the digital illustration realm, is with Procreate and Apple Pencil and iPad. So
awesome. Yeah. Has it been a pretty like seamless transition into that, or was there a pretty big learning curve to get into that new sort of technology? And
Procreate was super approachable, I thought. I learned it pretty easy. Just for the purposes that I use it for. I know that there's like a lot more to learn with it. But once I kind of figured out like, okay, these are what I'm using for like my bold outline strokes. This is my color palette for like my fill colors. Once I kind of got a few of those basic things down, I've kind of just been repeating the process and refining it, over the last year or so. But yeah, I've had a lot of learning to do along the way, because some of the clients who approached me, a lot of the clients that approach me for my illustration style are people I don't know, like on Instagram, that will find me and, want a shirt design or something. So I had never really designed something for a shirt like it until like 2019. And getting into that first couple of shirt designs, I realized, okay, like there's things I didn't know I needed to do, like separating colors for, screen printing. And like, so the first couple of clients I had, they were very nice people. So it worked out really well, but they were like, hey, the vendor's sending it back saying this isn't working. And I'm like, what the hell's the problem? And then I'm like, oh my God, I don't know what I'm doing. So it's been a lot of just like throwing myself at things I don't really understand and trying to learn along the way. So.
Oh, that's great. That's awesome. It kind of culminated in this sort of, style that you have now. Like it's I just love seeing like the work that comes out on Instagram and just seeing the different things, different creations that you're coming out with. You mentioned they're sort of kind of heavily reliant on like a tattoo sort of inspiration or that concept kind of. Do you have any tattoos, or are you inspired by a tattoo culture personally?
Funny enough, I do not have any tattoos. I've always wanted tattoos and have been super interested in tattoos. But I think of like in high school, I was in like a nu metal band, like a rapcore nu metal band. So like at that time, I wanted like the full like tribal arm tattoo that go, and I just, obviously at this moment in my life, I'm glad I didn't go that route because my tastes have changed so much. But I'd like to think that I could get into that space of getting traditional tattoos because they're timeless and like I've liked them for a very long time. And I feel like I'm mature enough now to make a good decision about tattoos, but I've always been very hesitant just because I have a hard time committing to like a style.
Yeah, I totally, I hear you there. Have you ever, I guess, like considered becoming a tattoo artist itself, or even like if someone asked you for a design to be a tattoo, would you be open to that?
So to becoming a tattoo artist, absolutely not. Like I need that, like, Apple Z or whatever option.
Undo command.
The undo command.
No
yes.
Undo commands and tattoos.
And I just feel like the hesitance I have to get a tattoo, if I was the one holding the gun, like putting it on someone, I would just be like, I don't want to mess up this person's life forever. But I have designed a few things that I had designed a tattoo for a friend in that style, which was then handed off to a real tattoo artist to execute.
Awesome.
So I'm definitely open to like to helping in that realm.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not sure how tattoo artists feel about that when digital hacks like me are just like, here, make this into something beautiful, like in a real life setting.
Right. Awesome. Um, well, we're both coming to, I don't know where you're coming from. I'm coming from my home today. We're doing this thing kind of via Zoom and over the internet, obviously just because of COVID, but I don't know, this is also this works out really well just to kind of tap in. We don't have to like set up a meeting and go out of our way to do stuff. But, how has your life been during quarantine and just over the past year, just kind of as an artist, as a just individual, like, what's your life been like?
It's been good. I'm really fortunate. I'm coming out of my basement right now, which my wife and our two kids and I and our dog, we've been isolating since I think I want to say end of February. So I've been working from home for my day job, which I'm really appreciative that was an option for me. Um, but yeah, like we're I guess if you were to categorize us, we're in the like hyper like careful realm.
Nope.
So we have not seen like anyone, like no family. I mean, other than like Zoom and stuff. So we'll get groceries or things like that we have to do, but we're being extremely careful in that way. But as far as it goes, mentally or creatively, like I'm a pretty hermity person, so I kind of have been enjoying the freedom that brings as far as you have almost no obligations outside of your home, and I don't want to like sound completely antisocial because that's not true. But when you have kids and you have your work and you have your freelance, like you're busy and like it's hard to like just put things down and like go out and do things sometimes. So it's been good for me in that way. But then also there's no one around to like kick me in the butt to like go see friends, So I do miss getting out and like just connecting with people. And I also am really hoping to like get more engaged with like the local community in the next few years. So
Yeah.
once things clear up, I'm hoping that I can like continue building these kinds of relationships with local friends and industry leaders in our area, just so that I can hopefully continue to grow and be part of that community. But yeah, it's funny because like when people talk about like, oh, when quarantine's over, like I just can't wait to like I'm gonna go on vacations, I'm gonna go out to eat, I'm gonna go to this, and I'm just like, for me, I'm kind of like, I really miss going to like antique stores and thrifts and like thrift stores. Like that's my vibe. And I don't know if it's like an artistic tie-in, like, oh, I go to antique stores and I have this plethora of content to just pull inspiration from. I don't know. I'm just aimlessly
Yeah.
browsing, and I love doing that. But again, it's like a solo effort usually. I'm just by myself doing that. But I don't miss the human connection thing apparently as much as I should. I like miss looking at old things from generations that are long past for
Yeah.
some reason.
Yeah. No, I totally am with you there. Yeah, I think there's a good, probably quite a large audience of us artist folk that are, the introverts in us probably are really relishing this time right now because we have no other obligations to really attend to. We can't really, uh, get overwhelmed by all the things we have to do. It's just kind of like, well, I'm just going to stay at home and I'm going to keep doing work and I'm going to just, enjoy this sort of quiet time a little bit. I definitely have moments like that. I definitely have moments where it's like, oh man, I miss people. Where are all the people?
I know. I think the biggest thing for me, just like as a person, like as a dad, is just like those extra moments you get during the day with the kids. Like, I feel like you leave for work at 7:30 in the morning and get back at like 5:30, and like I just think of like how many micro interactions I get to have with my kids and my wife each day that I wouldn't normally get. Just like a quick hug or a quick, just like these small moments that are super special this year, or I guess in 2020 and into this year. But I think it's just like I know there's a lot of bad stuff in the world happening to people, and I'm very fortunate with my situation, but I'm really thankful for like those moments with them. It's just like a really cool thing. So
yeah, that's awesome. Let's see. So I guess are there any other artists or anyone that you kind of follow? I know you mentioned a couple already from Instagram. Is there anyone else kind of in your immediate circle or that you follow that you want to just kind of give a shout out to, or you want to recommend we check out or anything like that?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, like for me, like that first job I got out of college as an intern, I started working for a guy named Ludwig Herrera, which you probably have heard of Ludwig. He's kind of a fashion photographer slash designer slash I don't know, website design. I don't know. He does kind of everything. But he's just like someone that gave me a shot when I don't know if I even really deserved one at the time, and just kind of introduced me to that world. And he also was like a male personality that was one of the first people I met who was like kind of more on like that sensitive, creative, like professional side, coming from like a farming community in North Dakota. Like you don't see a lot of male role models that push you into that realm. So just kind of seeing him was like a nice starting point for me in my career, and interacting with him and understanding that this was a profession that I could pursue, like was really a big deal for me. Other people locally, obviously like Punch Gut is a pretty cool guy. I've been following his work for a while, and I'm always just like very interested just to see like what he's gonna do next. It's just like I don't know. It's just always so like wild and gory and mysterious and dark, and I don't know. There's also like some weird humor in it. I don't know. I think it's just kind of like some really interesting stuff. But locally, like even outside of like actual artists, just like when I see people like Justin and Ashley Morgan like at Unglued, and just like what they've done is just like so cool to me. Like the way they're just like, we're going to build this store and this community and do these events and just like bring people together, and just like they're kind of just like not afraid of anything. And I just like admire that spirit that they have for just, oh, we want to do this, so we're going to go do it. And they just kick ass at that. So yeah,
Totally awesome. Yeah. So what, I guess, what does your future look like as far as the work you're doing, White Ghost Design, what you want to do with that? Anything you want to talk about as far as plans for maybe the future, or any projects you're working on now that you're really excited about, or anything like that?
Yeah. I'm kind of doing a little bit of soul searching. I feel like 2019 and 2020 were really some exploratory discovery years for me. Just kind of seeing what I actually want to do with my like free time as a designer and artist. And I like doing logo design. And I think that I've kind of made a little space for myself there. And logo design's a different type of reward. Like, I don't know, it's exciting because you're helping a business, and usually I'm in a situation where those jobs pay a little bit better too. So that helps kind of continue to fund the other creative efforts that I want to do with my freelance stuff. But I'm really interested in the digital drawing side of things, and I want to learn more. And I guess I've put out a few things. I've put out some hats with patches. I put out some sticker packs and some enamel pins. But I'd kind of like to see myself going in the realm of doing some different like clothing, potentially some sweatshirts or t-shirts, or just kind of like branch into that world a little bit more with some of my own designs. I love doing those kinds of designs for clients too, but there's something about just, the more times you work with the client and you design a shirt for them and you see them go out and make the shirt and sell it, you're kind of like, I mean, why am I not just making my own shirts with these designs? And so I don't know. I don't want to say that I'm trying to start like a lifestyle brand. That's not quite right. But I just am interested in pursuing more of the digital illustration side and trying to learn more and push my boundaries a little bit there. And yeah, hopefully I can build up some merch of some sort at some point in time here in the future.
Yeah, I love the merch that you've come out with already, and I know I need to get on buying a hat for sure, because I those hats are killer, and I want to. Every time you post something, I'm like, oh god, that's right, I got to go order that, and then I end up doing something else, and I'm sure there's a ton of people do the same thing.
Yeah, and I'm out of hats right now.
Oh,
I'm out of both of the designs, and like I feel like I don't know if I should make more of the same or try something new. And that's kind of like my, I don't know. That's the question for everyone that's trying to do this is like, okay, well, I made my money back with a little to spare off of that effort, a little to spare. I said to spare, but it sounded like despair. I made my money back with a little despair.
Both ways work.
But like, yeah, like I loved making the hats, but like my process for that is like, I don't know what I'm doing again. Right. So I like order these hats and then I order these patches and then they come here and I'm just kind of like hand sewing them on. So I'm doing very small runs.
Right.
But I probably need to get like into like more of a higher volume production mindset if I would like to really try to do this. So
yeah,
that's kind of stuff that I got to think about.
Yeah, it's hard though too because you walk that line of like you don't want to sit on like a ton of merchandise either and like have it like occupy your space, but yet you kind of need it in order to get the work out. And yeah, it's just that small business sort of working out of your house mentality that's kind of weird sometimes.
Well, yeah, and I tried a few times to do. I'm blanking on like the site that I tried to use, but well, you know those sites where you upload your designs and they distribute the products for you when someone buys them. And I have a friend named John Dosh who is pretty. There's two people who have bought things from me in that medium. Two friends, my friend Gabe and my friend John. And each time they buy like a piece of merchandise, like they get it and like the quality's like really bad, and then I just feel really bad, and then I'm just like I need to like do more of like find a screen printer I really trust and like, and do those smaller runs. And if I have to eat some costs up front, I'd rather do that than rely on strangers on the internet to make a good product that represents me. So again, that kind of ties into that local connection. Like I got to figure out who I should be working with in that realm, maybe locally, so that I've got to go to person I can trust. So yeah.
Cool. Where can we encounter your work? Where can we see it? Or I know you're on Instagram. Is there other channels you want us to check out or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, whiteghost.com or whiteghostdesign.com has more of kind of my logo work there. The Instagram is the place to follow if you're interested in my digital illustration. Currently, I believe I have some pins and stickers and possibly some hats for sale still at Zanbros in town here. If you happen to be in that area and want to pick something up, I have some there. I have an Etsy store too, but there's not a lot going on in it right now. There's a few sticker packs and enamel pins there right now, but likely that will be where I would post merchandise in the futures on the Etsy store. But main place to really interact with me would probably be at White Ghost Design on Instagram. So,
awesome. Great. Yeah, definitely check that out. I guess my last question for today, as you may or may not know, my graphic design business is called Cereal, like the breakfast food. And so I love cereal personally, and I hope most people do. My last question is always, what is your favorite breakfast cereal and why? And if you don't have one, that's fine too.
That is like a massively difficult question to answer. I think that like when I think about cereal that I liked as a kid, like I always my go-tos are always like the Count Chocula and like the Frankenberry and stuff. But I don't know if it's just because I really love Halloween. I don't know if I necessarily liked the cereal that much. But I think the cereal that I liked the most as a kid was probably Golden Crisp. There's like Golden Crisp, but there's Honey Smacks. There's like a bear and a frog. I don't know. I kind of can't remember what the difference is between the two, but I want to say that the Golden Crisp was like kind of my go-to sugary, delicious cereal. Kind of looks like little like coffee beans, you know?
Stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if I like connected with the bear mascot or what was the connection to that cereal specifically, but it's one I had to look up actually, because I was like, what's that cereal with like that? It's a bear, and I don't even know if they still make it, but I was like,
almost thinking, I was like, God, do they still make that right now? But of course, I haven't had all the cereals I used to have when I was a kid lately, so I feel like half of them are just gone. But that question sometimes poses like an existential question for people because it's just harkening back to the childhood of like, God, so many. And
God, yeah, the Fruity Pebbles and the Cocoa Pebbles were a good one. There's just too many. Cookie Crisp.
Yeah.
The s'more golden graham s'more
Oh,
cereals,
so good.
pretty incredible.
Yeah.
What is cereal?
Uh, I mean, I always kind of say that I like pretty much every cereal. I don't even know if there's one that I don't like, I guess, but anything with crunch berries, that's my go-to for sure. That's the Captain Crunch. It's the, just destroy the inside of your mouth with the hardest cereal possible, but it's so good. I remember that.
Yeah, it's like you gotta eat it fast or it gets soggy, but then like the whole roof of your mouth is all like cut up. Yeah, it's a real. I have this problem. Like I'm like this real glutton when it comes to like things like cereal or even like ice cream, where it's like I like to like make it even worse for myself than it needs to be. Like I'll like drizzle a little bit of like cream on top of my cereal, a little bit of extra cream on top of my ice cream, just so unnecessary, but like give it a little bit more of like that heart-stopping power.
What else can I just kind of throw in there? I like it.
It's ridiculous.
That's awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much for spending a little time today, Adam, talking with us, and I'll be posting this online later on. Your work is awesome. If you need logo design or any other kind of design, check out Adam's work, whiteghostdesign.com, correct? I think.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. And check out the stuff on Instagram too, because all of that work is great. And some of those pieces then have now been translated into albino buffalo stickers. So definitely go and support local artists and grab some stickers, get some of Adam's design. Thanks everybody for tuning in, supporting local art and the artists that make it. So my name's Jeff Knight with Albino Buffalo, and we'll see you next time.